Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. You know, I was thinking about this week's game against the New England Patriots. Let's just say hypothetically we lose the football game. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers go to Ireland to play the Minnesota Vikings. And I've said it all along. The trip is going to be a complete disaster. Remember Cam Hayward said the last international trip that the Pittsburgh Steelers had, players, he's never seen a coach fall asleep in meetings. It's going to be a disaster. The trip is going to be a complete disaster. I anticipate losing the game no matter what. Pittsburgh Steelers never play good on a short week. It's not really a short week, but you get what I'm trying to say with the travel, the time. I really believe that the New England Patriots game this week for the Pittsburgh Steelers is pretty much like it's only week 3, and I feel like it's make or break. Like the season is either we're about to end the season this week if we lose the game. Because here's the way I feel. If we lose this game versus the Patriots, we're 1-2. I really believe we're losing the game in Ireland. Now we're 1-3. Then you play the Cleveland Browns. And you're gonna be like, wow, that's a lot of hypotheticals. Then we play the Cleveland Browns. And let's say, God forbid, we lose to the Cleveland Browns. The season's over. It's over. The Pittsburgh Steelers season could possibly be over by week 5. It's possible. You know, all the ESPN hosts, the Steelers could be undefeated by the time they could be 3-0. This week, the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is the Super Bowl for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right before that trip to Ireland. Now, if the Pittsburgh Steelers weren't playing in Ireland, you know, leaving the country, I wouldn't be as concerned. But you should be concerned. Do the Pittsburgh Steelers ever play well on a short week? Again, it's not a short week. It's international travel. It's international time. Art Rooney was told these trips hurt the players' performance. We should get there earlier. What does Art Rooney do? What does the Pittsburgh Steelers organization do? They do the same exact thing. Nope, we're going to follow the same exact plan that we know doesn't work. And then you wonder why the head coach, it's like, well, if the owner thinks like that, why wouldn't the head coach think like that? Well, you know, it's not working, but who gives a shit? Let's keep doing the same thing anyway. I mean, this New England Patriots game this week is huge. It's huge. Okay, and I'm not just saying this because I need content. You know, it's the Tuesday. No, that's not. No. Let's put it in perspective. Again, if they lose the Patriots game, do you really think they're going to win in Ireland? I don't think so. So the deck is stacked against us. And then after that, it's the Cleveland Browns. So let's just say, God forbid you lose to the Browns. It's bad enough you're 1-3 at that point. You lose to the Browns. Now you're 1-4. You know, whenever the Steelers are playing from behind or playing on a short week, what is the history there? What's the history? You know what the history is? It's always bad. Whether it's a Christmas game, a Thursday game, it doesn't matter who we play. What happens? It doesn't go well, correct? And that's usually because of coaching. That's what that usually boils down to. Art Rooney was told, like, hey, this Ireland trip, we need to do things different. We need to get there sooner, blah, blah. No way, no. We're going to do it the same way we did it the last time when all the players fell asleep and they couldn't play football and they performed terrible. No, we're going to do it that way. Hey, all right, fine. Do it that way. The Pittsburgh Steelers season could literally be over in week 5. If the Pittsburgh Steelers go 1-4, do you really see us making the playoffs? Do you really see us pulling ourselves out of it? I don't. And it's a possibility we are 1-4. This Patriots game is absolutely effing huge. It's gigantic. Already, it's like we're in week 3 and it's already it's like, wow. You know, when I really think about it. And all because we have to play international travel. You know, if, let's say the Steelers lost against the Patriots, of course I'm not going to be happy. Now we're 1-2. But wouldn't you feel more comfortable if the following week we were playing in the United States of America where the players got a good night of rest? Wouldn't that make sense? These things always happen at the worst possible time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like, all right, well, you know what? We're 1-2 now, and now we got to travel to Ireland, and we're not going to get there early. We're going to do the same thing that we did the last time. We're not going to perform well, and boom, the season's over. I mean, the run defense has me feeling super, super negative. You can't let guys you can't give up 8 yards of carry in the NFL. You can't give up 200 yards rushing in the NFL. And everybody keeps talking about, well, the kick return that was messed up and the interception in the end zone. I understand all that. We couldn't get off the field on third down. Patrick Queen misses a sack. I understand that. But what the F does that got to do with the running game? Nothing. It doesn't have to do with anything but running the ball and stopping the run. And I can't blame any team for trying to run the ball 35 times against the Pittsburgh Steelers until the Pittsburgh Steelers can learn how to stop it. I'm going to get off that and just report update news today because obviously you see I'm feeling super negative. But this Patriots game is the Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl game because the dam could literally break after this week. Steelers signing former New York Giants wide receiver Isaiah Hodgkins to practice squad. I have no clue who he is, nor do I care. So whatever. Wow. Big news, huh? I don't care about his combine numbers. I don't want to hear it. It's whatever. Don't care about this dude. So just updating you with the news. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. A lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans get mad at what Ray Filipaldo says about Coach Tomlin and his coaching style and the way he coaches the defense, but it's kind of hard to argue with him. Like, Coach Tomlin is the defensive guru, correct? Correct, isn't he? He's the defensive guru. Since the Pittsburgh Steelers told Dick LeBeau, bye-bye, we don't need your assistance anymore. What's happened to the Pittsburgh Steelers defensively? The black and gold. Same old, same old. You know where the pressure's coming from. We're just going to line up and kick your ass. And the Steelers have become a laughing stock of the NFL because they don't play good defense. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are known for good defense. And now we're probably ranked 31st in the league in overall defense. Ray Filipaldo went on to say, it all starts up front. Tuesday on the North Shore Drive podcast, we could put it on the players. They're not performing well, but I think you also have to put it on Mike Tomlin and Carl Dunbar. There was one clip I saw where Keanu Benton actually turned his back on a double team and just got obliterated 10 yards down the field. Either they're not being taught right or they're not taking to the coaching, but either way, it's not working. And it's a strength issue because I see Keanu Benton do that all the time, turn his back and just get absolutely demolished down the field. We saw Patrick Queen last year do that in the playoff game. He would turn his back to Derrick Henry like he didn't want any piece of him running the football. Remember when the Philadelphia Eagles, it wasn't last year, I think it was the year before, they were struggling a little bit and they brought back their old defensive coordinator and all of a sudden they went from 28th in the league in defense to like number 3 overall. It matters. The scheme matters. The coaching matters. The technique matters. I mean, Coach Tomlin, tell me who his coaching tree is. Coach Tomlin is the only coach in the NFL that doesn't have a coaching tree. Only coach. No other coaches have came off the Coach Tomlin coaching tree. Why? He doesn't even have the tree. It's not even buried in the ground. There's not even a root. Why is that? As former NFL center Jeff Saturday put it, Seattle Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker III looked like a hot knife to butter on Sunday. That's after the Steelers gave up 182 rushing yards to the New York Jets in Week 1. This isn't what Tomlin thought he'd be fielding this season, that's for sure. For a guy who was so bullish on his team and on this defense in July and August, for things to unfold this way, how could he be so wrong about this? Filipaldo said, I think he was confident. I legitimately think he thought this was going to be one of the best defenses. Maybe Coach Tomlin thought that because of the addition of Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey made him feel like, just with me on the team, automatically, we become a legendary defense because you heard that all summer that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense in 2025 was going to be legendary. A legendary defense is the 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers defense. To call your defense legendary as the head coach, knowing what a legendary defense looks like, Filipaldo's absolutely right. Like, how could you be this wrong? How, how could your calculation or your estimation of your team, of your defense, be this wrong when you've actually seen the 2008 defense up front and personal? I mean, come on, make it make sense. But we all know who the defensive coordinator was for that defense. That was Dick LeBeau. I just had to point it out. Since Dick has went bye-bye, how has the Steelers defense performed? You tell me. I asked fans a couple weeks ago in the Strip District, hey, do you miss Dick LeBeau? A lot of fans are like, who the hell is that? I don't know. Just the man that invented the 3-4 defense, that's who that is. What did you think? Coach Tomlin's responsible for, the Pittsburgh Steelers' legendary defense? Because so far, since Coach Tomlin has taken over the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, nobody, and I mean nobody, fears the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Nobody. And it pisses me off. When you come to Pittsburgh to play football, you need to be scared. You need to know you're about to get your head knocked off. And instead, we're the laughing stock of the entire league. Oh, I can't wait to play Pittsburgh. I'm going to run for 240 yards, saying 3 touchdowns. God, it should piss you off. Remember when that 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers defense used to line up on the field and we saw an angry group of players on the field? What a legendary defense. I mean, that was a masterpiece in motion. All the different moving parts and this guy dropping and this person blitzing. It was really a beautiful piece of art, only to be destroyed by a certain coach. Oh, we're not doing it that way anymore. For some reason, nope. I mean, it's worked for so many years. We got to change things. It's got to be my way or the highway. Now we basically run a 4-2-5. That's it. We don't run a real 3-4 defense. We don't do that anymore. I don't want to hear we run a 3-4 defense. We don't run a 3-4 defense. 2 down linemen, 2 outside linebackers. Outside linebackers are on a line of scrimmage. There's 4 men on the defensive line. It's 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. It's a 4-2-5. It's not a 3-4. And the way people are supposed to drop and this and that, it's just sickening. I don't understand how you let one person come in and change everything for the worst. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? Just keep doing it. And here we are going into week 3 from 2024. Now we're in 2025. 299 rushing yards to the Baltimore Ravens. 185 yards to the Jets. 120 yards to the Seahawks last week. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers give up 150 yards to New England Patriots this week in a loss, then we are legitimately talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers season being over in week 3. And again, I am only saying that because of the international travel the following week to Ireland, of all places. We all know that is not going to end well. You're going to say, stop repeating yourself. You're ranting and raving like a lunatic and a maniac. Yes, I am. You know why? Because it's a long season, 16 weeks of football, and we're out of it already. We didn't even make it to Christmas, and we're out. Whew. Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, for the amount of attention that TJ Watt gets, last week's game, a lot of fans are saying, TJ Watt's not playing well. He lost his legs. The man is getting double-teamed, triple-teamed, chipped. They do everything in their power to run the ball away from him. When you have that much attention from an offense going to one player, Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith should be making the Pro Bowl every single year. And what do? What do both of these players do? They're never available. Either one of them. Nick Herbig better have the best game of his life filling in for Alex Highsmith. It's about time Nick Herbig puts up or shuts up. Jumping up and down in practice, screaming, I'm back, I'm back. Show us. Show me. Let me see it. Fine, you made a play last week. The big interception, I'll give you that. But I want to see it play after play for 4 quarters in a game where you dictate to the offense what's going to happen and you close it out for a win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So far, Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, if you ask me, they have been failures for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's the excuse? If you're always getting one-on-one, blocked one-on-one, why TJ Watt is getting double and triple teamed, which we all know, what's your excuse? There's no excuse. You're not getting the job done. I don't want to hear that TJ Watt's not having a good season. All last week, triple team, double team, chipped, you name it. Teams constantly run away from him because TJ Watt is ranked number 1 overall in run defense. He's had a lot of pressures getting to the quarterback. I mean, it's just, I'm not going to get into the TJ Watt thing with you because we're just going to argue. He's a phenomenal player. And if he had anybody else to compliment him, guess what? That player would be outstanding because they would constantly get one-on-one matchups. But no, Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig, oh, my hamstring hurts. They never make it. They can't go 3 weeks in a row without missing a game. Isaiah Loudermilk's also out. Not really a big deal. The depth chart was released today for the Pittsburgh Steelers going into the New England Patriots game. And Coach Tomlin said that Caleb Johnson wouldn't be back there returning kicks. Well, that's not what it says on the depth chart that I'm looking at right here. So it looks to me Caleb Johnson's still returning kicks. But hey, what do you say? Nothing changes if nothing changes. Same old story. Can you imagine this week if Caleb Johnson's back there returning kicks and he fumbles again and the Pittsburgh Steelers lose the game? Wouldn't you say, all right, I'm firing Coach Tomlin immediately after the game? Let's just say that happened hypothetically. What would you do? Let me know in the comment section. If Coach Tomlin puts Caleb Johnson back to return kicks and he fumbles again, what do you think should happen to Coach Tomlin? Answer the question in the comment section, please. All right, I'm going to end it with that. Again, the Pittsburgh Steelers really need to win this week against the New England Patriots. This is a playoff game for us this week against the Patriots. Make no mistake about it, because we all know how the Ireland trip is going to go, and it's not going to go well for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All you got to do is look at the track record with games like that, and on short weeks with Coach Tomlin, we all know how they go. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.